Here is a fact most RAG builders never confront. In a standard vector search pipeline, no component ever reads your query and your document together. Two summaries meet, the texts never do. Re-ranking is the stage that finally lets them, and it is routinely the single biggest precision win available in retrieval. 9 concepts: the gap, the cross-encoder, the economics, what re-rankers catch, the options, and when to skip them. Let's close the gap. Think carefully about what vector search actually does, because the limitation is baked into the architecture. Your document was embedded at index time, compressed into a single vector, months before any question existed. Your query is embedded at search time, compressed into its own vector, with no idea which documents exist. Retrieval then compares the two vectors. Notice what never happened. Nothing ever read the query and the document at the same time. Two lossy summaries were compared. The underlying texts never met. This is the bi-encoder architecture, two separate encoders, meeting only at a dot product, and it is a brilliant trade, because documents are embedded ahead of time. Search is a nearest neighbor lookup over millions of chunks in milliseconds. But the price of that speed is precision at the top of the list. A vector can only hold so much, nuance gets averaged away. The query, laptops under $500 without a touchscreen, and a chunk about touchscreen laptops around $500 embed almost identically, the vectors agree. The meanings are opposites. Retrieval returns the roughly related, ranked by summary similarity, and roughly related is precisely the quality of context that makes a language model hallucinate confidently. So the top of your retrieved list, the part you actually stuff into the prompt, is decided by the crudest comparison in the whole pipeline. Re-ranking exists to fix exactly that, a second stage where, for a short list, the query and each document finally get read together by a model built for the job. First, the architecture that finally reads both texts at once. The re-ranker's core is a cross-encoder, and the name says everything. Instead of encoding query and document separately, it concatenates them, query, separator, document, and feeds the pair through a transformer as one sequence. Now attention does what attention is for. Every token of the query attends to every token of the document. Without, in the query can directly interact with touch screen in the chunk. The negation that embedding similarity averaged away becomes a screaming signal. Out comes a single number. How well does this document answer this query? Not how similar are their topics, but does this text answer that question? Trained on datasets of real query passage pairs, cross-encoders learn precisely that distinction, answerness, not aboutness. Why is this so much more accurate than the bi-encoder? Because nothing was compressed before the comparison. The bi-encoder had to summarize each text into a fixed vector in advance, hoping the summary kept what tomorrow's query would need. The cross-encoder waits until it has both texts, then judges them jointly, with the full machinery of attention, no guessing, no lossy handoff. On every retrieval benchmark, that joint reading beats vector similarity by a wide margin at ranking quality. So why not use it for everything? Hold that thought. Its cost is structural, and it is the entire reason retrieval is a pipeline rather than one glorious model. That is concept 2. Concept 2. Why you can't just cross-encode everything. Here is the structural catch, and it is worth stating precisely because it explains the shape of every production retrieval system on Earth. The cross-encoder needs the query as input. That means nothing can be computed ahead of time. Every document must be run through the model fresh, per query, paired with that query. There is no index to build, no vectors to cache, no shortcut. Score a corpus of 1 million chunks and you are running 1 million transformer inferences per query. At even a few milliseconds each, that is an hour of GPU time to answer one question. The BioEncoder has the opposite cost profile. All document embeddings are pre-computed once at index time. A query costs one embedding plus a nearest neighbor lookup that modern vector indexes serve in milliseconds at any scale. See the trade in full. The BioEncoder is cheap at query time because it did its lossy compression early. The cross-encoder is accurate because it refuses to compress early, and therefore cannot be cheap. Fast and shallow, or slow and deep, you cannot have one model that is both. And this is not an engineering shortfall to be optimized away, it is information economics. The resolution is the pipeline. Let the cheap model search everything and produce a shortlist, then let the expensive model read only the shortlist. Cast a wide net with the fast summary comparison. Inspect the catch with the careful reader. Retrieve the NeRank is not a pattern someone invented. It is the only shape these two cost structures allow. Concept 3. Where the ReRanker sits, and the numbers around it. The full production shape, with real numbers attached. Stage 1. Retrieve wide. Pull the top 50 to 200 candidates, from vector search, or better, from hybrid keyword plus vector with RRF fusing the lists, exactly as the RRF episode laid out. Width matters here for a reason people miss, recall. If the right document is not somewhere in the candidate set, the ReRanker can do nothing. It reorders what it is given. It cannot resurrect what retrieval missed. A document sitting at rank 40 in the rough list is exactly the kind of thing ReRanking rescues to rank 2, but only if you cast the net past rank 40 in the first place. Stage 2. ReRank. Run the query against each of those 100 candidates through the cross-encoder, 100 inferences, typically some tens to a couple hundred milliseconds on decent hardware, batched. Stage 3. Hand the top 5 or 10 to the language model. Notice how the shape simultaneously solves 3 problems. Precision. The final ordering came from joint reading, not summary similarity. Cost. The expensive model only ever sees 100 candidates, never a million. And context budget. Instead of stuffing 30 mediocre chunks into the prompt and hoping, you send 5 verified relevant ones, which is cheaper in tokens and measurably reduces hallucination, because the model is no longer choosing between plausible-looking distractors. One tuning note that punches above its weight, the depth you ReRank, 50, 100, 200, is your recall versus latency dial. Turn it with measurements, not moods. Concept 4. The failures ReRankers fix, name them and debugging opens up. What does the ReRanker actually rescue? There is a characteristic family of embedding failures, and naming them precisely turns guesswork into diagnosis. Negation. Laptops without a touchscreen versus touchscreen laptops. Embeddings are notoriously weak at negation, because negating a word barely moves a sentence's average meaning, and averages are what embeddings are. The cross-encoder sees without attending to touchscreen and scores the mismatch correctly. Constraints. Under $500, before 2020, for teams of 10 or fewer, numeric and categorical conditions embed as vague topical flavor, but read as hard requirements. A ReRanker trained on question passage pairs treats a violated constraint as the relevance killer it is. Question answer shape. The query, why does my deploy fail at the migration step, is topically similar to 100 chunks that mention deploys and migrations, but only one chunk explains the failure. Aboutness versus answerness. Embeddings measure the former. Cross-encoders were trained on the latter, and this single distinction is most of their benchmark advantage. Keyword precision, error codes, version numbers, function names. A specific identifier in the query should dominate, but it is one token among many in an averaged vector. Attention lets an exact match count like the smoking gun it is. Notice the common thread. Every blind spot is a place where meaning lies in the interaction between query and document, precisely the thing you cannot pre-compute into separate summaries. That is not a list to memorize, it is one principle wearing four coats. Halfway. The menu, 3 ways to buy a re-ranker. 3 ways to get a re-ranker, with honest trade-offs. Option 1. Open cross-encoder models, self-hosted. The BGE re-ranker family and the Milliseconds Marco Mini LM cross-encoders are the workhorses, small models by modern standards, hundreds of millions of parameters, fast enough to score 100 pairs in well under a second on a modest GPU, free to run, private by construction. For most teams with any infrastructure muscle, this is the default answer. Option 2. API re-rankers, Cohere re-rank being the best known. 1 HTTP call, query plus documents in, reordered list with scores out. 0 infrastructure, strong quality, multilingual support, priced per call, and your documents leave the building, which is a data governance question, not just an engineering one. Option 3. Use an LLM as the re-ranker. Listwiz prompting. Hand the model the query and 20 candidates, ask it to order them by relevance. Highest ceiling. An instruction-tuned LLM brings world knowledge and reasoning no small cross-encoder has, and research systems using Listwiz LLM re-ranking top the benchmarks. Also the highest cost and latency, plus parsing fragility, you are now depending on a model to emit a well-formed ranking. The selection logic is the same ladder as everywhere on this channel. Start with an open cross-encoder. It captures most of the available gain for the least money. Reach for the API when you have no GPU and no governance blocker. Reserve LLM re-ranking for the small, high-stakes shortlists where its extra judgment genuinely pays, legal discovery, not autocomplete. Concept 6. The bill, latency, money, and when to skip re-ranking entirely. Re-ranking earns its keep often, not always, and knowing the exceptions is the senior half of the topic. The bill first, an added stage in the critical path, call it 50 to 300 milliseconds depending on model, depth, and hardware, plus see the GPU capacity you now operate, or per query API fees at commercial rates. For a RAG assistant answering in a few seconds anyway, an extra 100 milliseconds buying visibly better answers is the easiest trade in the stack. But now the exceptions. Skip re-ranking for latency-critical surfaces, autocomplete, type-ahead, instant search as you type, 100 milliseconds is the entire budget there, and users forgive a rough ordering they can scan faster than you can re-rank. Skip it when retrieval is already precise for your query mix, narrow domains with distinctive vocabulary, exact part number lookups, small curated corpora, where the top 5 from hybrid search are consistently right. A re-ranker reordering an already correct list is pure cost. Skip it, painfully, when your recall is broken. If the right documents are not in the top 100 at all, the re-ranker has nothing to rescue. Fix chunking and hybrid retrieval first. A precision stage cannot repair a recall problem, and this ordering of repairs is the single most common mistake in RAG debugging. And deprioritize it when a cheaper fix dominates. If reading your retrieved chunks reveals mid-sentence fragments and topic soup, you are in the chunking episodes territory, not this one's. The rule that survives, re-rank when the top of a rough list is your bottleneck. Not before, and not instead of fixing the list itself. Concept 7. One more time, cleanly, RRF and re-rankers are not rivals. Because these two stages both improve the ranking, they get confused constantly. So let's fix the distinction permanently with one frame. RRF aggregates opinions. The re-ranker performs an examination. RRF never reads a document. It looks at where independent retrievers rank things and rewards agreement, Keyword search and vector search, both putting a document near the top is evidence, and RRF is how that evidence gets counted. It costs microseconds, needs no model, and its judgment is exactly as good as the retrievers feeding it. It cannot see content at all. The cross-encoder is the opposite creature. It reads one document at a time against the query, deeply, and does not care who retrieved it or at what rank. It has an informed opinion about content and no concept of consensus. Complementary blindness, which is why the pipeline stacks them rather than choosing. Hybrid retrieval fixes vocabulary coverage. RRF fixes score incomparability across engines. The re-ranker fixes summary versus reading. Remove RRF and your shortlist skews to one engine's hallucinations. Remove the re-ranker and your final ordering trusts lossy summaries. Each layer eats a failure mode the previous one cannot see. The distinction, one sentence each. RRF is rank aggregation across retrievers, cheap consensus, content blind. Re-ranking is per document scoring by a model that reads the pair, expensive precision, consensus blind. Production uses both, in that order. Anyone who can say those 3 sentences has stopped confusing layers. Concept 8. Prove the re-ranker earns its milliseconds. The re-ranker is a paid component, so it justifies itself with numbers, and the evaluation loop is the same golden set discipline from the chunking episode, extended one stage. Take your 30 to 100 real question passage pairs. Run retrieval without the re-ranker and score the final top 5. Is the answering passage present? Recall at 5, and how high does it sit? MRR, or NDCG if you grade partial relevance. Then run the identical queries with re-ranking and diff the numbers. What you typically see on ordinary corpora, recall at 100 barely moves, re-ranking does not find new documents, but precision at the top transforms. Passages that languished at rank 20 or 40 climb into the top 5, MRR jumps, and the end-to-end answer quality follows, because the model finally receives the right context instead of the roughly right kind. This is why re-ranking is so often the best value for effort upgrade in a rack stack. One component, no reindexing, no pipeline surgery, and the top 5, the only part the LLM ever sees, gets visibly better. To failure readings to know. If re-ranked results are not better, check recall first. The right passages probably never made the candidate set. That is a retrieval or chunking problem upstream, and no re-ranker fixes it. And if metrics improve but answers do not, look at what you send the model. 5 great chunks buried among 25 mediocre ones recreates the distractor problem you just paid to solve. Send fewer, better chunks. The re-ranker's whole gift is permission to do exactly that. Last one. Putting the whole pipeline together. When you need to improve retrieval quality, or explain what a re-ranker is, the reasoning has the same skeleton as every strong explanation on this channel: mechanism, economics, boundaries, pipeline. Mechanism, one sentence. Bioencoders compress query and document into separate vectors that never read each other. A cross-encoder reads the pair jointly with full attention and scores uncertainty. That joint reading is the accuracy. Economics, one sentence. It cannot be pre-computed, so it cannot search the corpus, which forces the retrieve widen the rank shape. Cheap model searches millions, expensive model reads 100. Blind spots, because this is where debugging lives. It rescues what embeddings miss: negation, numeric constraints, question answer alignment, exact identifiers. Everywhere meaning lives in the interaction between the texts. Boundaries, stated plainly, it is a precision stage. It cannot fix recall. If the answer never made the candidate set, fix chunking and hybrid retrieval first. And it costs latency, so autocomplete and already precise narrow domains skip it. Then the full pipeline, as one closing breath: hybrid BM25 plus dense retrieval, RRF to fuse, cross-encoder over the top 100, 5 best chunks to the model, and a golden set proving each stage earns its place. On options, open cross-encoders as the default, API re-rankers for zero infrastructure, LLM listways for small high-stakes shortlists. That is the whole territory, held in 5 breaths, and every sentence contains a trade-off, not a feature. That is what understanding sounds like. That's re-ranking, the stage where your query and your documents finally get read together, priced so it can only afford a shortlist, and worth it precisely when the top of a rough list is what stands between your users and good answers. Retrieve wide, fuse with RRF, read with a cross-encoder, send 5 great chunks. This completes the retrieval trilogy with the chunking and RRF episodes. The full RAG family is on the channel. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.